Let's talk about Gregory Porter, an American jazz vocalist, songwriter and actor. He also doesn't mind being known as a mama's boy either. He counts his mother, who's a preacher, as a huge influence on his life and career. Now, Nikki Beatty went to meet him to talk about his childhood, his inspirations, and that trademark hat.
So, Gregory Porter, you are a huge star in America. You're a Grammy Award-winning musician, but we love you in the UK. How much do you love us, and what do you love about us?
There's so many things that I love about the UK. We don't have any royalty in the US, and that's a pretty, magical thing.
You played at Buckingham Palace, didn't you?
I played at Buckingham Palace. They also had me for the Day of Remembrance, a celebration at the Royal Albert Hall.
We've no less days to sing God's praise than when we first begun.
And so after singing "A Bow to the Queen" and waved, and it was just like, I'm just a little American boy from Bakersfield. What am I doing here? But it was a grand experience.
You were quite late in coming to a recording career, weren't you? How old were you when you made your first record?
38, 39 when it was released. So by the time I got over to you, I was 40, so yeah.
And your mother had some sort of influence on you actually pursuing your musical career, didn't she?
Yeah. 2 days before she passed, she said to me, "Don't forget your music. It's the best thing you do, and don't forget it." And her teachings to me find their way into the music, whether I am conscious of it or not at the time of writing. After I listened to it, I was like, "God, that's Mom."
So, Gregory, tell me what sort of woman your mother was.
She was a storefront preacher. She would set up, church in the worst places, and one of the worst places in my hometown was Lakeview Avenue. This is the street where prostitutes, drug-addicted people, homeless people, they were there. And we had a little PA system, and I learned how to sing there, not in a posh church. I learned how to sing to the afflicted ones, to the lonely ones, to the hungry ones, to the people who lost their way.
Take me to the alley. Take me to the afflicted one.
So your mother would literally set up a church in a storefront. What was she preaching?
She was definitely on the extreme side of like, let's redeem, this. She would get a calling to do these things, and she would do them.
Do you have a similar calling?
I have a similar calling for like messages of love and mutual respect. I think those themes, irrepressible love, those themes kind of keep finding their way in my music.
Unreroute the river, let the damn water be. There's some people down the way that's thirsty, so let the liquid spirit free.
When you're performing, are you channeling some sort of spirit, God, energy?
I always have. I grew up singing in the church, and so this energy, in a way, this gift, this performance, in a way, for God, has happened absolutely on stage.
But it's interesting because as smooth and mellifluous as your voice is, your lyrics do sometimes have a bit more of a hard-hitting, edgy message.
Yeah.
Is that very important to you? Is that deliberate?
Yeah, it is deliberate. I think every day there's a new ignorance, and so we have to talk about these things.
There was a man, the voice of a people, standing on the balcony of the Lorraine Motel.
We have to talk about our differences and the foundations of acceptance, and the idea that other is not always negative and bad. And so I think sometimes when this rise of negative energy towards the different or the other or the underneath, there's also a counter energy. And I feel like I want to be part of that counter energy.
Did you ever experience racism? Do you still experience racism?
I've had enormous difficulties in my life. And we as a family were attacked quite a bit. We had a cross burned in our yard, and they would urinate in bottles and throw them through our windows every other week, and that happened multiple times.
Were you frightened?
Yes, until my mother got in our face and was like, you know, I'm here, I'll protect you. And you are below no one, not above anyone, but you're below nobody. And it did have an effect on us for a little while. It was scary. But I think and I hope that I'm part of the energy of pushback to negativity and hate and intolerance and misunderstanding between people.
Won't somebody help me? Won't somebody help me?
Well, we come to the hat. And like so many jazzsters before who've had a particular piece of headgear, it's a thing.
Yeah.
Could you ever perform without it?
I think my voice would be different.
Peace and love, y'all. God bless you. Thank you.
The marvellous Gregory Porter. I doff my cap to him too. Now we're asking